Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm so glad you're tuning in today. So today I'm actually going to be doing like my favorite and least favorite palettes from high-end names. And I actually was inspired by Jen Phelps. It definitely helped me go back and kind of reevaluate some of my palettes. And yeah, here it goes. I'm going to start off with Huda Beauty. I actually have two favorites, and I only have two of their bigger palettes, and then the rest are the smaller ones. But as far as favorites go, the new nude palette from Huda, I absolutely just love this color story. It's beautiful, it's very easy to wear and very easy to work with. And it gives you a lot of options. You can go with an all matte look that's more casual, or you can definitely spice things up with some of the pearlescent colors or the glitters. It just gives you a lot of fun colors to work with. My favorite from Huda is their new Mercury Retrograde palette. I mean, I'm just obsessed with the packaging alone, but this is another one that's just like super easy to work with the colors, and it gives you some really fun like bright tones, but then you've got a little bit more of this warmer tone over here and a lot of neutrals. Just a great one that kind of gives you lots of options, and it's very wearable. So definitely another one that I would recommend. Now, my least favorite palette that I own from Huda Beauty, which I wanted to love this palette so bad because I'm obsessed with the colors. I still use it, I still work with it, but it is more difficult, so I don't reach for it as often as I thought I would. But it's the Neon Huda Beauty palette, and this is their green one. And I do use the other ones quite a bit, but something about this formula just did not hold up to the rest of the Neon palettes or any of the other Huda Beauty palettes that I own. I don't know what it is, but they're just not quite as great, and I'm just not as in love with it. Now, for Anastasia Beverly Hills, that's what I'm going to do next. I do, again, have two favorites. The first one is the Sultry palette, which is glorious. Everybody's obsessed with it, but I love the Cyborg color. This is a great neutral palette, but it also has like this fun pop of peach and this really pretty shimmer. There's a couple different shimmers, but the formula is amazing, and again, you can get a lot of wearable looks without going crazy, or if you want to do something a little more glamorous, this is the one to go with. Now this one's an oldie but a goodie. Everybody loves this palette. It's the Modern Renaissance palette, and as y'all can see, it's definitely been loved. I've hit pan on some of the lighter shades, but this was like one of my first major purchases as far as eyeshadow palettes go. I think I had some of the Urban Decay palettes before this, but when I saw this one, I knew I had to have it. And it's just always been in my pan on things or run out of the colors, I do repurchase it. It's just my go-to. Now for least favorite, and this breaks my heart because I so wanted to love this one as well. Again, it's just got some of those fun bright pops of neon, and then it's got like these really fun colors, but something about this just didn't work. The color story is just kind of disjointed, and a lot of the formulas just don't live up to ABH standards, which was really surprising. And I know that was a lot on social media. Everybody was complaining about it. I do still pop it out and try to use it. It does work, don't get me wrong, it can be used, and because it was expensive, I do try to use these up. I don't like wasting my eyeshadow palettes, so I do try to make things work. Sometimes there's no hope, but if it's wearable and there's at least a few shades in there that I can work with, I do try to use them. So my next palette, I have my favorite palette, which I love all the ones that I own. So I did declutter a couple of them, but those were the ones I disliked, which I'll get to. But my favorite one, this is from Natasha Denona, and it is the Safari Matte Palette. And this is one that I use all the time. I mean, when I want something to take on vacation with me, I grab this, and I grab like a couple single glitters or just a small palette with a few glitters in them. But this comes with me everywhere. Even if I'm just going to my parents for the weekend, it is definitely one of my all-time favorites, and it's a staple. It never leaves my side. And as far as disliking from Natasha Denona, some of their mini palettes, I had the Mini Lila palette and the Mini Star palette, and neither of those had the same formulation. I don't know if it's just the minis, but I have two of the small palettes, like the little full-size, it's a full palette, but it's just a smaller version. I believe it's the Love palette and the, what is the other one? Sunrise and Love, and I have both of those. I love them. The formula is just as good as their full size. I also have the Natasha Gold palette, and that one is phenomenal as well. Those are two of the, well, that one is specifically one of the best-selling palettes from them. Next on the agenda is the Violet Voss palette, and this Violet Voss Pro Ride or Die palette is seriously one of my favorites to have in my collection. As far as nudes go, I'm pretty much set for life. This has everything I need. I love this row right here. I don't have the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette, but I feel like this has almost all those colors. And then you also have these really pretty warm tones, and then over here you've got the cool tones. So there's a mix of matte and metallic. This kind of has everything that you would need as far as neutrals go. So this one is forever in my collection. Violet Voss palettes I'm not a fan of. They're very far and few between. However, this little guy, I just don't find myself reaching for. I mean, it's a really cute palette, and maybe I'll give it some more time, but it's just not a favorite right now. Okay, so next I have the Jeffree Star. I have almost every palette minus the Conspiracy palette, which just didn't appeal to me. Now I'm kind of second guessing that, but if it ever comes back in stock, I might reconsider it. However, my favorite is definitely the Bloodlust palette. This is new to my collection, but I am in love. I did a look with it in my last video, I believe, or 2 videos ago, but it's stunning, very wearable, beautiful purple shades. Least favorite, and I say that because it's just my least used. I really do like this palette too, but it's the Mini Jawbreaker palette. I have the full size and I just collect them, but I just don't find myself reaching for this. It's a little harder to use these colors. There's not really a good one for me because I'm so much skinned. Double Scoop would be the only one, and that one's kind of bright, but it is an amazing palette as well. He just has an amazing formula and very high quality. But not least, I have a couple Becca palettes. I don't have a lot of them, but I do have a few. So starting with favorite, I have the Ombre Rouge Eye Palette. It looks like this. And it's just a really good neutral warm tone palette. Nothing special, but it is my favorite out of the Becca palettes. Like I said, I don't have very many. This one I just got, and I am just not a fan. I want to love it. It's this Becca one. It's a special edition. I don't know. Pearl Glow Shimmering Eye Palette. And the colors, I mean, it's so pretty. It's very cool toned, but it just, I'm having a hard time working with it. So I'll keep trying it, giving it some time, but as of right now, not a fan. So that is it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It's a little shorter than most of mine, but if y'all haven't already checked it out, I do have a giveaway coming up, and it is 2 videos prior to this. Yeah, so spread the word, subscribe, ring the bell, and I will let you know when that giveaway is ready to go. It's gonna be when I hit 100 subscribers, so stay tuned.